Greed and war over Andretti. So the battle lines are being drawn, and now it seems that a civil war is brewing with Formula One teams and the FIA about the entrance of Andretti to Formula One. For Michael the Mighty Mullet Andretti, it's simple. And I quote, "It's all about money. They think they're going to get diluted 1/10 of their prize money. But they also get very greedy, thinking we will take all the American sponsors as well. It's all about greed and looking at themselves and not looking at what is best for the overall growth of the series." That's what Michael Andretti had to say about teams apparently blocking his entrance into the series, with only FIA President Mohammed Bin Sulayem, Alpine and former boss McLaren supporting his entrance bid, despite Andretti being able to provide the $200 million required by the Concord Agreement to enter the sport as a new team. So does this put McLaren, Alpine and the FIA and Andretti up against the rest of the grid? It may not be that simple. Andretti has spent a long time trying to enter the sport and has recently confirmed backing by General Motors, that's Chev, Cadillac, Buick and all other cool American brands, if some of you don't know this. And while McLaren, for example, has been identified by Andretti as an ally, they currently use Mercedes engines, and Mercedes seem against the new entrant and may well pressure McLaren to toe the party line. Why don't the FIA just force it through then, if their president is such a fan of the new plan? Once again, not that easy. It seems that any new entrant request requires the agreement of both the FIA and F1. FIA President Sulayem has been quoted as saying, "To have a big company like GM, which is one of the top 5 in the world, we should be encouraging them to come to Formula One." So who's blocking it then? And I quote motorsport.com. That is why when the latest F1 Concord Agreement was signed for 2021, it included a clause that demanded any new entrant pay a $200 million dilution fee to compensate rival teams. It was, and I'm still quoting, "It was felt that the one-off $20 million payment each competitor would receive was enough of a bump to offset losses that varied from $5 million per year at the back of the grid to $10 million for the front runners. But a lot has changed since the dilution fund was first agreed, with both the commercial rights income and health of the sport reaching new heights." End quotes. So there we are then, lines drawn in the sand. Armies gathering both sides, the FIA wanting to take over America and the status quo wanting to get paid. Which I think would be more if they take over America, but what do I know? I'm just the guy with a mic in the YouTube channel. No space for religion or beliefs. All drivers would need to seek approval from them to display any kind of message or to speak out on matters of interest to them on political or religious grounds. That's basically what the FIA has stated as their new rules are, and the Vettels and Hamiltons of the world must already be fuming. Said FIA boss Sulayem, "You can use sport for peace reasons, but one thing we don't want is to have the FIA as a platform for private personal agenda. We will divert from the sport. What does the driver do best? Driving. They are so good at it, and they make the business, they make the show, they're the stars, nobody's stopping them." I'm sure, Mr. Sulayem, that this has nothing to do with the likes of Azerbaijan's horrible human rights record, or maybe all of the Gulf states' horrible human rights records, who you are now trying to include in everything. And yeah, it's not about the money. I'm sure it's not about the money. I'm sure it's about racing. Well, I'm not a fan of some of these drivers pushing their incredibly wokeness recently, but how on earth will some of these rules be enforced? Will Pierre Gasly no longer be allowed to pray before getting into his car? Will Sergio Perez's images of popes and other Catholic things be removed from his car? And who's going to do this? Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose, wrote Chris Christopherson in a well-known song many moons ago. I'm wondering. Headlines: Red Bull should fear Mercedes, not Ferrari. And I quote, "I would say that we should fear Mercedes more, mainly because they have an advantage over Ferrari in terms of strategy, and reliability." Guess who said this? No prizes if you guessed Helmut Marko, who's getting his retaliation in first in the pre-season mind battles. Seb joins Red Bull. Junior and Montoya. Sebastian Montoya, 17-year-old son of Juan Pablo, has joined the Red Bull Junior team. That's what I've got for you now. Check out what else we have on the channel. Support us. Press that sub button, please. I beg thee. If you don't want to, come watch again next week. Then you'll press it. I know you do. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. May God bless you. I know I'm not allowed to say this by the FIA rules, but this is my channel, so I guess I can. God bless. Have a good week. And don't worry, the pre-season will not be that long. One of these days, we will be disappointed as Ferrari fans. We will be happy as Red Bull fans. We will not really know what we do as Alpine fans. we will be backing Lewis as Mercedes fans. We will be hoping McLaren come right as proper fans. And as Williams fans, don't worry guys, we know you really love the sport and we're hoping your team does better as well. God bless and goodbye.